Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gamma TV. I'm Mowen.
And I'm Illiana.
We haven't been around for a few weeks. Basically, Dan, Charlotte, and I got locked in Impact Comics for the last 3 weeks. I had to eat them both to survive, and I've
somehow found a small cat child.
I checked the secondhand store, and I found Illy.
Yay!
So she's going to host Gamma TV with me this week.
This one still didn't want to leave for some reason, so, you know. I don't know why. What?
I live here now.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got kicked out by my wife, and I live at Impact Comics now.
Well, you're pretty close to some nice food places just around the corner, so.
Yeah. I've still got some Charlotte left over. She's a meaty one. So let's start, as we always do, with a little bit of comic news. What have we got this? So, I've been assured by Mao, aka the Comic God, that this is the big thing this week. It's Image Comics. It's simply called The Beef. Wait, no, it's simply called The Beef, aka Tainted Love, a biochemical romance. And on the back, there's a Charles Jr. advert.
Very lovely looking lady eating a beef burger.
Yeah. So what did you think? You gave this one a read? Basically, it's the origin story. It's an origin story of a man who works in an abattoir, who I guess was pushed to his limit and became the beef. Which is basically
it has absolutely no context.
He gets angry, and I think he says he ate soda and he ate too much processed beef.
Well, from the looks of it, his father was working at this slaughterhouse since he was little, and this kid basically just grew up eating the same beef that his father was killing to put into the burgers, and he just ate a load of junk food from this one fast food place, and
then he gets pushed too far.
There's a mad cow, and the lady that he fancied.
The local bullies, the over-the-top local bullies, are being mean to a Mexican family, one of which is very stacked.
Yeah.
And they want to see her run to see if her boobs jiggle right, to see if she's got implants. So they
set a mad cow on her.
They stab a ball.
It's great.
Yeah, so the beef, as in superhero, is basically just a guy without his skin.
Basically because his muscles have ripped through his skin, and...
Is that what happens?
I don't know.
It's not really clear.
Is it like his skin has become transparent?
I don't know, one panel he's got skin, and the next panel he has no skin. Or he's probably buffer than he was before.
It might just be that, his skin became so stretched that it's, pretty much invisible and you can just see the muscles.
Maybe that's what happened? I don't know. But yeah, it just looks... Do you know the episode of The Simpsons where there's the Inside Out virus?
Oh, yeah.
It's basically just that. I think if you ever go into a fight, you could just throw salt on him and he'd give up pretty quick.
Fair enough. That would hurt
I think just the breeze hurts him. Because it happens at the very end of the issue, so I'm not sure sort of what...
Is it meant to be another issue of this?
I think this is the first issue. I think it's an ongoing beef storyline. So we'll see what happens next week, but I think, it's just a whole issue of him, writhing in pain because all of his nerve endings are exposed because he just lost all his skin, and it's just shrieking for 24 pages. But it's cool. It's funny because it tells the story, but then it has panels where it just basically talks about how an abattoir works and what the stun gun is and what it does by firing a metal rod into the brain that stuns the animal, and then so if you ever wondered how beef is made and you really wanted to know in comic book form rather than anything educational, then pick up The Beef.
Because you totally weren't forced to learn about that in school.
Were you forced to learn about that at school?
Kind of. That was whole part of the milk process. Learning how the milk process works.
Big milk school, were you?
No.
Milk schooled? Did you go to school on a farm, a dairy farm?
Well, unless there
Or
are
did
dairy farms in
you
like
picked up-
in the middle of
And last year you
Newcastle.
picked up chem, physics, English, milk, history.
No.
No.
No, I'm dumb. It's all good.
Was there a big milk component to your schooling?
Unless we count the fact that I drank milk a lot, which I have no idea why. Milk is good. Hot chocolate
That's
is
a big
good.
thumbs up for milk.
Got milk?
Alright, see, the biggest thing this week, in my mind anyway, is this. This is Beautiful Canvas. Written by GAMMA.CON's good friend Ryan K. Lindsay. Artwork by Sammy Cavella. And it is gorgeous. This is probably the best artwork you'll see out of any comic this month. It is a little bit, would you say a little bit confusing?
A little bit confusing, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely getting the context of some of the characters. I'm assuming it may come up later on.
I think this is a one-off. This book is the closest of all my stories to someone turning the head key in the base of my neck and printing what they find inside my brain pan. So yeah, I think it's meant to be not entirely clear. It's about an assassin, her girlfriend, and a billionaire who's obsessed with art through chaos, a guy who seems to get psychic visions by cleaning his teeth, a kid that has special powers that's like on the run. Yeah, the hitmen, like a group of hitmen, I suppose hired to kill the main girl, and for whatever reason they're all monsters, even though everyone else in the story are humans.
It's like a very random thing, but
she seems to be
it kinda
haunted by a
works.
ghost. Yeah, so
yeah, it's a ghost of a little girl, either that or if it's the like just something in her head of like when she was little and she's blaming herself for something.
Now, to be fair, we both read this, half an hour before we went to film this. I think it's one of those sort of stories where you might have to comb back through, read it a couple of times, study the artwork in every panel to get clues about what's going on. I don't think it's the sort of story where it's just laid out bare for you to read one and done.
Yeah.
I think it's something that you need to study. You need to look deep into what they say, the words they choose specifically. I think it's that kind of story.
It's also, or it may also be just kind of the thing where each time you read it, you notice something different, and it actually either fleshes out the story or makes it even better for you.
But it's good looking. You'd want to read this more than once.
Yeah, definitely.
1 minute shop. The concept is we get given 1 minute to find an item in Impact Comics. If we were told we could have any one item for free. Illy, this is your virgin time and 1 minute shop. What was your pick?
Hey, it shows Hedwig.
It's a Hedwig plushie. It's not incredibly lifelike, is it?
No, not really.
It's more of a
It's
chibi-
very, very cartoony, chibi kind of version.
Yeah.
It looks like there is actually meant to be like other characters to it or something. I'm pretty sure, because it's meant to be like a Harry Potter thing.
Yeah, well,
And
the tag
does
has a
actually
bunch of
have
little...
a couple of other characters. It has like Harry, Ron, Hermione, Draco, Dobby.
Yeah. Alright, so my pick for this week, I actually picked a bunch because they're all similar. We've covered a lot of Saga stuff on Gamma TV. Saga pop vinyls. I think they've just come out. It's the first time I've seen them. There are... I think this is the entire set according to the box. We've got Isabel, the lesbian dead ghost babysitter who only comes out at night. What's that? It's Illiana. She's the main character of the series. Marco, who's her spouse and probably the other main character of the series. My second favourite character probably, Prince Robot IV. He has a TV for head and it's a colour screen because he's royalty. The Will, who's a bounty hunter. He's the owner of Lion Cat and the brother of, I forget what she's called, the something. I'll have to look that up. And the ex-lover of the Spider Woman, who's also the something, because all bounty hunters are the something. And finally, my favourite character, the pop vinyl of Lion Cat. I have a problem with pop vinyls in that a lot of the characters and series that I like, for whatever reason, usually have really shitty looking pop vinyls. Because usually the characters are not human proportions, so they have to be stretched and skewed. I found Mystery Science Theater. Pop Vinyls, my favorite character is Tom Servo, but his Pop Vinyl looks shithouse because he's got like this big head and his little body which doesn't look anything like him. So, alright, so the big movie. He's nesting.
Yes.
Your hair's going to be covered in bird shit. The big movie for the last couple of weeks has been Black Panther. It is doing amazing box office at the moment. Amazing. It's past $500 million at the US domestic box office.
Wow.
And it's about 850 mil worldwide. It's sailing close to the big $1 billion worldwide. I heard a rumor that you saw something funny on the internet.
Yes. There was actually someone who made a post online calling out for Shuri to actually be a what was it? A Disney princess. They wanted Shuri to be a Disney princess because she is kick-ass.
So obviously Black Panther is a story of the heir apparent to the Wakanda nation. Wakanda is an African nation that was hit with a meteorite of vibranium thousands of years ago, and as a result of using vibranium has become the most technological empire on Earth. But they hide away behind a giant hologram because they don't want to interfere or be interfered with the rest of the world. So actually in the comics, the vibranium actually had a problem with mutating people.
Oh.
But because Marvel no longer has the meteorite to mutations or mutants of any sort, they left that bit out. And he gets the heart-shaped herb, which gives him the power of Black Panther, which is just being strong, fast, agile. And he has a little sister called Shuri, who's basically Q from James Bond. She just has a room full of tech and gadgets and suits and gizmos for T'Challa. Basically, the crux of this movie is, one, if there was a nation with this such good technology and medical advancements and stuff, should they be sharing it with the rest of the world? And also more so the fact that in a lot of places in the world, black people are oppressed and have all the odds stacked against them. But there is a nation in Africa which has all the technology and weapons and stuff, so,
And black people are in power there.
Yeah, so is it fair, or what should be done if you have these people who are so oppressed, knowing that there's, their brethren hiding away with technology to make their lives better? So Killmonger is kind of the extreme of that, where it's not just make their lives better, it's give them weapons so that they can overthrow their oppressors and they can become, the oppressors. There's two polar opposites. There's the traditionalists in Wakanda that say we should not share any of our technology with anyone. And then Killmonger is like, you should share technology because then your brethren can rise up and be the ones on top and oppress everyone else. And T'Challa's in the middle, sort of, should I respect the past and keep out of everything? Or should I help?
Tradition?
And to what level should I help? I like the fact that everything was tribal Africa mixed with futuristic space technology.
Yeah.
There was still high technology, but like it had the designs, like African tribal designs, and people wore traditional dress, and small council of elders. One of them had the plaid in his lips because that's a tradition, African tradition in certain tribes, and so it was a really cool world they built. The theme of the movie, what should you do for your fellow man or your fellow race, and what level should you share technology if you know it can help but it can also harm. It wasn't too much about Black Panther himself though. He was he was the focus of the story, but like a lot of the themes were sort of beyond him, and it was more about Wakanda and the concept. So that's Gamma TV for this week. We'll hopefully be back next week, regular time, with a full cast. Thank you for coming, Illy.
Yay.
Nice kitty.
Yay.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.